Hey everyone, again, it's Greg with A&A Masonry. I'm here on another job. We're in the middle of the process of doing a column, or columns in this case. And typical with Toronto, these homes that were built in this period that have these front columns made out of brick, they tend to lean at some point. And people always ask us, is it something that has to get repaired? In this case, the city mandated that we have to repair this for this homeowner. And there's two columns, but what typically happens on these is the foundation and footing is 4 feet below the frost line, but where the brick meets the ground level, that's where it absorbs a lot of water, the ice, the salt. Those bricks at grade level become compromised, they spall, they break, and that eventually causes the pillar to want to lean outward. And the support that it's carrying, the roof line, puts pressure on it, and pushes it outward. That can also cause other damage to the brick where it meets the flashing in the roof line. Water gets behind the roof above the front door on this deck, and it can cause a lot of problems. Best thing is just to rebuild them. Sometimes we have to go all the way down, but in this case, goodness for the homeowner is we only have to go from the grade level up. We've had the crew, they've supported the deck above, they've torn down the brickwork column down to the grade level. The support, the subgrade footing looks great. And you can see here that the deck itself is tied into the brickwork. That's what's supporting it. So we're going to have to support the deck as we pull the remaining part of this column down and the other one on this side so the deck won't fall, rebuild it, put the the joist back into the brickwork, and then we're going to finish it off, and this is going to be a straight pillar. It'll last for hundreds of years.
A&A Masonry, an award-winning company servicing the Greater Toronto Area and the Golden Horseshoe. Columns have been being used as a construction component of structures for thousands of years. There are many types and designs of columns. Some serve as a very important structural element of a building, while others might have a more aesthetic function, enhancing the appearance of the home or building. Porch columns serve not only an important purpose in the construction of a home, but they can also provide a pleasing appearance doing it. Porch columns are also known as porch posts, pillars, columns, and many other names. A column or pillar in architecture and structural engineering is a structural element that transmits through compression the weight of the structure above to other structural elements below. A column that carries the load down to a foundation must have the means to transfer the load without overstressing the foundation material. Reinforced concrete and masonry columns are generally built directly on top of concrete foundations. When seated on a concrete foundation, a steel column must have a base plate to spread the load over a larger area and thereby reduce the bearing pressure. In the case of this home, the column was found to be failing and posed a risk. Here is Greg describing the difficulty and how A&A Masonry solved the problem.
Okay, as I mentioned, this is the problem. It's the brick that's right at the grade level. That brick fails, and the support of this column wants to roll outward, and it starts to lean. And you can go up and down this street. All the homes are similar. Some of them lean. They've been like that for decades. In this case, it just progressively got worse. We can see that the inside of this column is still structurally sound, but we have to rebuild it. And we don't want to just build around this. We want to go down right to the grade, maybe a little bit below, and put concrete block. We're going to do that so that the concrete block will be more resilient to the water and better than the clay brick that they used at the time. That'll ensure that there won't be that same problem happening again and the process reoccurring. So when these guys go, they're going to start with block. They're going to fill it up, tie it in, put a new pillar on the top that's going to join to the roof. And again, the homeowner's not going to have to worry about this for a century or more. Here we are. We're back at this job. It's done for the masonry part. You remember we had to take these pillars down that were supporting the overhang. They had shifted and moved. Very common in Toronto. We get a lot of calls to do this kind of work. We first have to establish whether or not the footings that are 4 feet below are stable. In this case, they were, which was great news. We only had to take it down to the grade level. We rebuilt it. We reclaimed the copings or the caps. And in this case, we, rather than putting a wood structure from the masonry to the overhang, we just put a metal telepost. The homeowner requested that because they're going to do a vinyl a casement around the telepost and make it look like wood, and it's going to last with the weather and so forth. But These things, again, are very technical. I was also speaking to the homeowner, and he was telling me that some other people that had looked at this job, they didn't have a full understanding and comprehension as to the purpose of this is not only, the pillars that is not only to support the overhang, but it's tied into the deck itself. So if you just pull it away, the deck would have fallen, so we had to support it underneath with some temporary type of footings that are good for this type of structure, and then we can retie it back into the pillars themselves. But looks good. Again, it's a very typical job that we get, and it's a repair that's required, but you have to have the technical knowledge to do it. That's why you choose A&A Masonry.
To schedule your next project, contact A&A Masonry today.